questions that I typically ask, and so I'm just gonna run through them quick. Um, I know we've already talked about most of these things, but just asking again, what what prompted you to start with the program to decide to make this change and start moving towards your fitness goals?
That 298 number when I stepped on the scale before we had the conversation, I was like, hell no. Like 3 bills? Nah, bro. Like that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? And then in the shirt off, the little side titty, right? I wasn't feeling that at all.
Yeah. Okay. So you're motivated by what you saw in the mirror. I mean, that's most people's thing, right? At some point, you get, and that's what it was for me, honestly. Like I didn't, because I didn't really notice, you know what I mean? Like I had just gotten so comfortable with being who I was at that point, and then like one day I was like, ugh, what happened? Wait a minute, that ain't me in the mirror.
Internet tripping. Right. My internet was tripping. My bad. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
but yeah, that's what it was, man. Like I'm looking like, because I used to joke with my wife like I'm the cutest chubby man on the planet, and then I started looking in the mirror. I was like, this side boob ain't the business. This ain't it. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
putting on the undershirts and having it fall out. I'm like, bro, like nah, you can let yourself go a little bit too far. You know what I mean? And so,
yeah,
like, now that I got my hips replaced and I don't have no more pain just walking around every day, I was like, I don't have no more excuses.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. And then what why did you decide uh to do it with me? I mean, I guess you could have chosen other programs to try to do some other stuff. Like what was it that what prompted you to roll what you got?
Relationship and the fact that we're going to have a relationship with this and beyond it, like, that's motivation for it. He's like, your chubby ass could have been on my program. Like, and I know you wouldn't say that, but that's kind of the motivation for me, knowing that
Yeah,
I got friends that can hold me accountable for this. You know what I mean?
yeah,
so,
yeah.
so that's what I need. I've always been that way. Like, I need a little external motivation and somebody to hold me accountable for it, and somebody other than my wife that's gonna love me regardless. You know what I mean?
Right,
So she
right.
don't care. But uh, but yeah, so it was that, and then I trust what you're doing. So if you can't trust the people who've been in your life, we've been friends for 20 years or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe longer
Longer
than
than
that.
that. Longer than that, like
You know what I mean?
25.
Right. So I'm saying, so if you can't trust those people, then you need to evaluate the people in your life. So that was
Right.
really what got me.
Okay. Okay. All right. Other than the weight loss, are you seeing any other differences, any other changes?
Yeah. Feel better every day. You know what I mean? Just getting up out of the bed, feeling better. Uh, trips to the bathroom aren't as struggles. Um, you know what I mean? You just feel better. You know what I mean? The water intake that I pay attention to now, you can just see it. It's different in all aspects. Like I said, I've been to the bathroom probably 100 times in the morning already. but but it's your insides is
Right.
working. You feel
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? And like I used to deal with stomach pains all the time. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And like now, I don't have any. So I'm assuming it was probably just the crap I was eating.
More than likely. Yeah. That's good. That's good.
So
That's good. Did you like before we got started? I know you say you kind of got into it like trust and relationships, but before you started the program, did you have any anxieties or worries about the program?
nah, not the program itself. It's always me that I worry about. You know what I mean? Like we talked about my cycle of I dropped weight before by changing my eating habits, and then what I mean, my hips start hurting,
Right.
and then I gotta have surgery. Then I'm like, forget the plan. I'm gonna just be here to eat whatever I want and gain the weight back and stuff like that. So It wasn't about the plan. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because when we talked about it was simple. It made sense. Eat better,
Yeah.
right? Eat better. Get you some exercise in. Pay attention to what you're putting in your body,
Right.
and you'll be okay. It wasn't. There's no gimmicks to it. None of that other BS you hear. You know what I mean? And so, and the flexibility in it is like, here's what we want you to eat, but if you don't eat that, like I'm not a fish eater, can't stand eating
Right.
fish. So all right, chicken, right? So it made it work for me. You know what I mean? Because those other things where you say you got to eat this, I'm not eating that. Right? Who likes eating food? Like if you got to force me to eat something that I don't like, it's not gonna last
Right.
long
Exactly.
because you're not gonna keep eating it,
Exactly.
right? And for other people, like don't like spinach, man, I always ate spinach. You know what I mean? I'm one of those few black people who don't eat greens. My mom used to make me spinach on the side, so I'm good with spinach. So I've been eating spinach every day since this started, and it's easy for me.
Yeah.
So that made that so much easier.
Good. 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 If you were talking to somebody who was on the fence about joining the program, like what would your advice be?
Do it. It's not hard. Right? It's not hard, right? It's doing the stuff that I used to make fun of people about, like paying attention to your caloric intake. All right, I used to make fun of people like, why are you counting calories? Forget all that. You know what I mean? Just work out, do something, and then you get older and realize, all right, well that was bad advice, and that was just me being ignorant about how this works. You know what I mean? But beyond the reset period where it's a little tougher for most people, it wasn't tough for me, but I don't eat that much anyway. But that might be tough for people. But once you get through that, all right, you can really eat good stuff. You know what I mean? You just have to learn how to, if you don't like eating the same thing all the time, you know what I mean? Well, just change it up with the seasonings a little bit, make it taste a little different. So fool yourself, you might be eating something else, but there's options out there for you. And there's easy stuff to do. You know what I mean? Like the egg whites, I just went to Sam's Club and bought the big thing of egg whites is there. So you're not wasting eggs because, that was one of the things when I was looking up, to buy this
Hmm.
stuff, somebody complained about like, I'm wasting all these
Right.
eggs. All right, well, there's cartons of eggs white you can go
Exactly.
buy and boom, that's easy right there. So it's easy. Just do it, man. You jump in and you realize it's not that hard. It is really not that hard. All right. I like chicken, right? I don't mind eating salads. You know what I mean? I'm just not loading it with cheese and bacon bits like I used to.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then I mix it up. If I'm having 6 ounces of chicken, I might cut up an ounce of chicken and put it in my salad on the side. You know what I mean? To give me some extra bite to my salad instead of it just being greens. And boom, that makes my salad easier to get down. When you get tired of just eating greens. So
Yeah.
just got to find different ways to work it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's one of the important things that a lot of people miss is like everybody's kind of looking for a meal plan or a diet to tell you exactly what to eat. And I think we talked about this before. It's like, what happens when that goes away? Like, what happens when I'm not sending you exactly what to eat? If you're not learning how to craft and create these meals yourself, um, then you're dependent on somebody else to do it for you. And then how can you survive that way? Right? Like, you're not making the change that you need to make in order to be successful if you're depending on somebody else to send it out for you or to create it for you. And so that's why I keep giving you guys like more and more each week of you can do this or you can do that, or these are like an adjustment you can make, or you can mix this
Mm-hmm.
in, because ultimately at the end of it, you want to be able to like, okay, this is your day. You know how many calories you're supposed to eat in this day. Go for it, right? And let's see what you do with this day. You don't have a meal plan. You just go. What you got today? What you got today? And it's just because that's what's going to happen. That's real life. That's reality, right? Is you're going to be at a point where you are hungry and you be like, okay, what am I going to eat right now? And you should be in a position to create a meal that's both healthy, um, satiating, it's filling, and it gives you the energy that you need to move into the next meal, right? And it's not like it's like the last meal I'm gonna eat. So I'm putting everything together on this one meal, or I'm just craving this, so I'm eating this, and I'm craving that, so I'm eating that. We're putting all this stuff together, and none of it really does anything for you. And so it's good that you it's really convenient that you like the stuff that's in the program already. And that means that over the over your lifetime, like you can kind of continue to eat like this because you already like what's there. Like you already like that stuff. It's not like pulling teeth trying to get you to eat it.
Right, and for me, like I said, I always had spinach. So some of what we're eating, like spinach and eggs, I was already doing that. But the only thing was I was adding in bacon, sausage, and ham with it. You know what I mean? And so it's like,
Yeah.
well, damn, all I have to do is cut out that part and
Right.
add some chicken. You know what I mean? And like the conversation we had, like who the hell told us that we can't have chicken for breakfast? Like whatever,
Right.
I'm gonna eat this damn
Right.
chicken. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it was easy. And the thing I noticed too, like we buy this big thing of Quaker oats, right? And usually it lasts for forever. But since that was a part of our meals, I was killing it, and then my kids was like, "Well, Dad eating this every day. We gonna have this too." You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I like mine super sweet, so I can't use sugar. So we got the no calorie, the equal or whatever the hell my wife bought. You know what I mean, to go in there.
Yeah.
So it make it easy. And then what I found out is we talked about before too, is that damn, a lot of that was like I was full as hell. Like I couldn't even get all of it down sometimes. So you cut back on it, you're like, well shit, I'm full. And then, 4 hours later, you're like, I'm really not hungry still. You know what I mean? So I'm just
Yeah.
eat a little bit of fruit. You know what I mean? Or like
Yeah.
I always have, walnuts or pecans in my house. Not really paying attention that if you eat too many of that, there's a lot of calories packed into that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for my little snack, you know what I mean? If if I didn't eat something for breakfast or something like that, which usually happens, I usually cut something out because just don't eat that much in the morning. I don't feel like it. So, I'll have some nuts and some fruit and a water, and then I'll be good for the next 4 hours. You know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
find that your body starts telling you at about 4 hours. Every time I start feeling like getting hungry, I look up at the clock. I'll be like, yep, 4 hours. And so it's time
Yeah.
to eat. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's put me on a good schedule. So I'm not having to go out and snack just all times in the night. And that's the thing too. I start making my butt go to sleep at night, so I'm not up late trying to snack. You know what I mean? That's been a big
Yeah.
change too.
Yeah. That may have something to do with you waking up and feeling well too, like feeling good, right? Because
Yeah.
you're not whatchamacallit, uh sleep deprived. You know,
Right.
you're going to sleep and getting more of it, more quality sleep. Uh I mean, it sounds like things are working really well for you. So I'm happy about that.
Yep. It is. It is, man. Like last night, I went to sleep at 10. I don't never do that. You know what I mean? I'm constantly up to 12 or 1 in the morning. But I went to sleep at 10. I was up at 8. I don't get that type of sleep. Never.
Yeah.
Never. Like 10 hours of sleep. Man, it's probably been a year since I've got 10 hours of sleep. But I had to get up early yesterday morning, but I made myself stay up all day because if I snap for 5 minutes, I'm gonna be up all night. That's just the way I work. That's why I try not to take naps. So I made myself stay up. I stayed busy, and then as the night got closer to the end, I was like, all right, I can go to bed now. I'm gonna be asleep through the night because when you wake up in the middle of the night, all right, I'm hungry. I got to get something to eat. Your day starts a lot
Right.
earlier. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's been a pattern for me, especially over this COVID. You know what I mean? Just sleep patterns. You're not really tripping off of it. Like whatever, I'll get up when I get up. So the regimen that this added has really helped me a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Got you scheduled up. Good. All right, man. Well, thank you for taking the time out of your Saturday. So if you don't have any other questions, I'm gonna let you get back to it. Now that you got a future college